How's everybody doing today? Today I just wanted to do a little homework hints video for this blackjack project. First off, you can start with this deal card program that's available to you on the download. It says blackjack starting point in a link. It's pretty much the homework 11 that we had, so if you didn't finish that 100%, you can use this one. If you finished yours and you like it, you can use yours, whatever works for you. But this already has a lot in it. It's got a picture list, which is loaded all 52 cards, and then it has a card value list that's correspondingly loaded the 52 card values. It randomly draws a number from the deal card method, and it uses that number to give a card value and a card picture to two cards. So if I run this, I see, alright, I hit deal cards, so it randomly selects two cards, and it actually adds up their total as well based on the card value. So that's a really good starting point for you. What I wanted to do next is kind of show you how the game of blackjack works. So this is one of the finished versions of blackjacks that I have that you don't have, but this is one way to do it. You don't have to do it exactly this way, but you should be able to look at this and at least pick up all the characteristics of the game. So I've got my dealer's cards up here. I've got my player's cards here. And I hit my deal cards button, and what happens is it deals me two cards and it puts up the total. For the dealer, when you play blackjack, you don't get to see one of the dealer's cards. So I'm not as sure whether I want to hit or not because I don't know what his card is. Obviously, if the object of the game is to get as close to 21 without going over, and in this case, I'm not going to take a hit. So what I'm going to do is hit stay. Now when I hit stay, it's automatically going to deal all the cards the dealer needs, because remember, the dealer has to hit anything 16 or below. So if his total is 16 or below, he must take a hit. If his total is 17 or above, he cannot take a hit. So when I hit the stay button, that code executes. So what happens is the dealer got his 6, he got a 2, and it just wound up that he got 21. And that's when my rules kick in. It says dealer wins. So I say OK. So I can play this as many times as I want. Say, alright, I'm going to deal cards. So this time I got a 4 and 11. So it's a perfect time for me to take a hit. Now, I have 5 cards for the player, and I've got 5 cards for the dealer. You just don't see them because I've set the visible property to false. When I take a hit, what I do is I set the visible property to true for my card picture, and I just utilize the deal function just like we did in our original homework. So when I say hit, oh, it dealt me an ace, so I have to decide whether I want to count this as a 1 or 11. Since I already have 11, I don't want to count this as an 11. I want to count it as a 1. So I got my ace. Now I've got a total of 12. I'm going to say hit, and it says, oh, too bad, you busted. But every time I take a hit, what it does is it gives me the next picture, assigns a value to it, adds it up. Whenever I hit stay, that's when it does the rest of the dealer cards. Now, one question that you might have is, well, how do you know which hit I'm on? Because if I hit the button the first time, it gives me this card, and if I hit it a second time, it gives me this card. I have a hit counter. So I've got if hit counter equals 1, then, do this card. If hit counter equals 2, then do this card. If hit counter equals 3, then do this card. I have a maximum of 5 cards which I can take, so that pretty much ends the game. The other thing I just wanted to make sure you understand is the rules. So I deal cards, so I've got a 12. So again, I say, alright, I want to take a hit. I'm at 20, so I think, yeah, that's as high as I want to go for hits. So I hit stay. What happens is the dealer took a card, he got a 10. He took a second card, he got a 12. And then since he was still below 16, he had to take a third card, but that busted him out. He's over 21. The other thing you want to know is a tie goes to the dealer. So if we happen to have, the player has 20 and the dealer has 20, then the dealer actually wins. As far as how I got this code to work, I basically just have if statements that I keep looking at the dealer's total. So if dealer total less than 16, deal him another card. If dealer total still less than 16, deal him another card. If dealer total still less than 16, deal him another card. So I have if statements to deal the dealer cards based on their total. Whether or not the user wants a hit is based on, whether they hit the hit button. Play a couple more games just to make sure everybody has the rules down, and then hopefully this will give you enough to go on. So deal cards. So I've got a jack and an 8. That's 18. I'm going to stay. The dealer in this case got an ace. I want to count it as a 1 in this case because I've got a 5 showing. So if I get an ace, that's going to give me a 16, which is I'm likely to bust on that. So I took my 1 as my ace. I happen to get delta 5 and an 8. Turns up to 19, so dealer wins. If I play another hand, I got an ace on this time, so definitely I want this to be counted as an ace. So I say, okay, I've got 21. I hit stay. Player wins. Do one more game. Deal cards. Okay, I've got a total of 7. Definitely want to hit. 16. I'll take a hit, but I might bust out. Yeah, I busted out, so that's it. But anyhow, that's your game. Just a couple other things. If I bring up my form, you can see all the cards I have. I've got all these pictures. But remember, if I go to this one now and I look at the properties, the visible property is set at false, as well as this one and this one. These are all set at false. What happens is I set the visible property to true as I need it. If I want to look at the code to do that, here it is. So this is the line of code, assuming I have a picture. For me, this is player card 3. So player card 3 dot visible equals true. That's the line of code that will set your visibility on your picture to true. Remember, I set them initially to false, all the ones I want for false. So to get all these to false, I don't use code. I just go into the properties on the card and I set them to false before the program even starts. Once the program's running, to get it to be visible during the run of the program, that's where you need that one line of code. But anyhow, just to go over one more time, the deal cards is going to deal one face down, one face up, one face down. It's going to do 2 face up to the dealer. The hit button pretty much only affects the player's cards. They can take up to 3 hit. Each time it takes a hit, it uses the deal method, gets another card value, gets another card picture based on the random number, sets it up. If they want another hit, it can do the 4th or the 5th. Once they hit stay, the dealer's total is, the dealer cards are hit automatically based on the dealer total. So if he's got his 2 cards now and he's got a 14, he has to take another hit. If that puts him up to 16, he still has to take another hit. Once he's over 17, no more hits. And then the rules of the game, basically, if the dealer goes over 21, he loses. If the player goes over 21, he loses. If the dealer and player are equal, tie goes to the dealer. If the dealer's total is greater than the player's total and it's still under 21, dealer wins. If the player's total is greater than the dealer's total and it's still under 21, player wins. So, you've got about 5 different rules. But anyhow, hopefully this will be helpful in you putting this whole thing together. It is our last project, so there's a lot to it. So start early, keep plugging away at it, and ask questions when you have them. See you later. Hopefully this was helpful.